Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for sticking around. We had a great first set to start off the day. We have a pretty similar set coming up here second in the day. We have Ninjas in Pyjamas versus Envy, and pretty similar storylines from what we saw in the first game, Evan. We saw Nip yesterday with a huge win over Renegades, and Envy suffering a tough loss yesterday. So, again, kind of similar to what we saw in the first game. One team needing to bounce back, and the other riding a lot of momentum.
The difference here, though, is that they're so good on both teams. And already, even though they took a loss to a team that was even better maybe in Virtus Pro, finding their momentum. So this should be a match of juggernauts here.
Right, and one of the guys you have to look at on the side of Ninjas in Pyjamas is Alex.
Yeah.
He's a stud flex. He played so many different champions yesterday, always making his impact felt and making the other team uncomfortable.
And I think Alex has really been a big key for them in flexing into things like the Bomb King, being able to bring that hit scan, but also go to Zen if they need to. He's really brought a nice dynamic, and you could tell that maybe the decision-making to bring him on the roster was what opened up his flexibility to really say, I need to expand my champion pool to be able to fill this role. And even to the point where Diggy Dog, who's the typical damage flex for teams like this, the blaster player for NIP, and has done well, he gave up that role for Alex and Bittner to join. So they clearly have something special there, and I think this roster is just ready to explode, man. They are in contention for the #1 spot for sure, but they're going up against Envy, and even though they lost yesterday, that shouldn't mean much. These guys know how to bounce back.
It's actually a really high-impact matchup when you really think about it. I mean, this kind of determines
this could be big.
This is a big matchup potentially in the standings. Alex, a driving force on the side of Ninjas in Pyjamas, and it's so important that we always talk about how uncomfortable it makes the other teams, because you practice so many maps, you practice so many different lineups and all those sorts of things, but it's like just having a player who's able to make you just a little bit more uncomfortable, make the opposition just think a little bit extra about their positioning, about their plays, is important.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the big thing is that flex for me. Alex used to come into LAN and play, Kinessa only and do things like that, and so I really appreciate what he's done for this roster. And you got to give credit to, Bird, who has
as well,
traditionally been the captain for this team. I'm not sure if he's the official captain for this roster right now, but he certainly has the veteranship, the wherewithal, and is in command of how this squad plays and how they go about doing their thing.
Well, it's tough because healers often don't get as much credit as they probably deserve, but we saw time and time again yesterday where he honestly, positioning is a huge thing for of course it is, keeping yourself alive, but time and time again in their matchup yesterday, he was able to keep himself positioned properly and just spam heals the entire team fight, and that's that's kind of an unspoken like if you don't die as a healer, nobody really notices it.
I know,
but it's so important. Keeping your team topped off and healthy in team fights is often unthanked, but Bird does it miles better than a lot of others.
He does a great job, and I mean, it's difficult being second fiddle in life. You're like, how are you going to care about them or me? But like supports are like fifth fiddle. It's like not even a fiddle that anyone knows how to play at all. It's like everyone else gets more highlights than them because you don't really notice till they're not doing what they're supposed to do, unless you play Maldamba or Genos. Or seriously get a big convergence, but get a lot of stuns, do a crazy Dread Serpent, do a huge through time and space. That's why, if you want to get a little bit more screen time as a support, I mean,
you know the champions to play.
You know what to do. You know how to game the system.
Pro tips from Evan for sure. And we saw, actually, when you talk about the Genos, there was a huge, it was Bittner on the Pip. He had a gigantic Evil Mojo yesterday to really wrap up that game. But Bird in there on the Genos was right there cleaning up a lot of those kills. He knows how to be aggressive as well, and that's something you really have to look out for. When even the support is making you uncomfortable, when even he is providing aggression, that's hard to deal with.
Well, what Bird will actually do is he'll play Andro 1v1s against every other member on his team, and he'll actually beat them. I mean, that's the level of talent that Bird has as a player. He's just taken the support role on ever since going to NIP and really been a stalwart force for them to continue to be successful and at a high level consistently.
Well, another big important guy on the roster of NIP is Bittner. I'm sure he's feeling good after the win yesterday, but let's hear it from the man himself. We have an interview with him standing by.
Thank you, boys. Down here with Tenor in the NIP booth. And my first question for you today, man, is this set against Envy. Yesterday, Virtus Pro proved that they are mortal, they can bleed, and they can be beaten. You guys looked really good yesterday. Are you looking just for more of the same, or is a different strategy being cooked up for Envy today?
Maybe I have something special prepared for Envy, but it's going to be the same. Hoping for the same result as well.
So where do you guys really see yourself sitting, I think, in the league? personally, for me, I put you guys kind of in the top 3 or 4 coming into this league. And now that you've seen teams playing after about 3 weeks, where do you see Envy and where do you see yourself sitting in the standings?
Well, Envy has set the roster for a very long time. Meanwhile, we are kind of new. Like, Alex has been with us for like a month and a half maybe. So we were hoping for a top 3 result this season.
What do you think about Virtus Pro and some of these other teams coming together? Are you starting to be kind of more aware of them as they pick up steam as well?
I was kind of surprised that they won yesterday, but they looked super solid, so they're definitely something to be worried about.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck in the set against Envy today. I know it's not going to be easy. Guys, back to you.
The man Bittner himself, aiming for a top 3 finish this season. He's calling it himself.
Definitely a little bit of a physical, gulp to, like, it is Envy. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things that we have to, consider here as we look at the way that Envy have really set themselves up to be this team that is not easily taken down. Yesterday was like a shock, right, to the world. And I think everyone right now, after a shock, you wait to see if there an aftershock in an earthquake, right? I mean, I'm from California, so I know what the protocol is. You look to see, is there another one coming, or can we settle down? And I think Envy still trying to figure out themselves in NIP. Are they susceptible, or are they going to be back?
Today is certainly a statement game for them.
Yeah.
We talked about the healer on one side. Mr. Hayes on the opposite side is somebody you can't count out either. I mean, he's a guy who's able to make the plays for himself and his team and make his presence felt time and time again. He can play essentially whatever champion he wants to play as well. And he's a driving force of this Envy lineup.
And he loves Pip. He's such a... I'm just kidding. They joked with me.
He's really good support Strix.
They joked with me that I kept saying this thing about him playing Pip, and he's like, I've never played Pip. I don't even like Pip, and I don't know what you're saying. And every time you say it on broadcast, we're like, stop it. So, okay, you hate Pip.
Let's perpetuate
so
the fact
I want to now
almost
perpetuate the fact that he loves Pip, guys. If you ever see him in real life, be like, the Pip player.
Well, that's the conundrum of the internet, isn't it? Like, if you want, the more you want something to go away, the more it comes out.
I did not play Pip. I do not like Pip. I will never play Pip.
Yeah, sounds like something a Pip player would say. Looking over on the other side, though, as well, Rubu, we get his ruckus tips week after week, obviously because he's one of the best, if not the best, ruckus players in the game. And again, a guy that's just enough to make a big difference. And you ban out the kind of the same tankiness type champions in most of these games, but Rubu can essentially play all of them. I mean, you can't really make this guy uncomfortable. He plays the Ashe so well. He plays the Ruckus, obviously, at a top tier level. He really makes whatever you put him on work.
Yeah, and the thing with him too is that he is a very good aggressive tank in the mind of him. In my mind, him, Phoenix are in that level of play that is just very hard to separate from the top tier. Everyone else, might be at that level right below that, but him and Phoenix operate that role pretty much better than anybody I've seen do it at the highest level consistently at LAN. So when you look at this, I think that he's got an opportunity to really step up against NIP. I know Diggy is an incredible player, and you can't, put him on an aggressive tank. He's going to do everything and more, and he seems to understand the positioning way better than a guy like Moonchopper at this moment, who is transitioning into learning that role, even though he's got the DPS stuff down. I'll be curious to see Rubu and Diggy going up against one another today and seeing, if Rubu's going to showcase maybe some of the ways Diggy, hasn't been tested already in that role, going up against somebody who's like a master at it.
Right. I mean, you saw Diggy's little notepad yesterday. He had all the big play things.
I want to know what's underneath those
we tried to pick his brain. He would not tell us. But the man with the plan on the side of Envy is Meta Pusher. I'm sure he has some answers. We're going to get some of those answers right now. We have an interview with him standing by.
All right, thank you, boys. Down here in the booth now with Team Envy, specifically the coach, Mr. Justin. Tough one yesterday. How was the team feeling after that loss?
It was definitely rough. We've lost before, but it's been a hot minute since we have. So we just got to get back to our old habits of, taking losses and coming back stronger the next day.
I think taking losses is a big part of being a competitor. And I honestly give you and Na'Vi a lot of credit. I think losses is part of what made you guys those World Championship teams. You never really started off super high. You started off 3rd, 4th place. So taking a loss as Team Envy, what do you guys kind of go back and how do you look to recoup for a day like today where this set is not going to be easy after what we saw yesterday either?
I think it's just a mental reset and kind of forgetting about yesterday, honestly. Like, we've identified, some of the mistakes we've made, but we don't think it was, like, a major flaw in our drafts or anything. So we're going to just play our game and really hope for the best.
Well, I hope it goes well for you guys. We're going to get back up to the desk and get this show started.
And I think he said it best. Is like it's a mental reset. You just have to. You just have to forget about yesterday.
Yeah.
Move on to today.
I mean,
you saw how. And honestly, maybe for them it's going to be helpful seeing how well Virtus.pro played this morning. Like if Virtus.pro had come out flat.
Oh, it's definitely
crushed.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, thank God Virtus.pro is a great team.
Exactly.
They can really beat people.
And I think that is definitely giving them a vote of confidence. But different energy from MetaPusher today this morning, and I am skeptical that Envy have fully bounced back yet. I think this hit harder. I think they're trying to put on the mask. It's super hard to go from on top to okay, now you've got an exposed weakness, and everyone knows, and everyone's happy that you're down because they can take your top spot. That's a hard thing to manage, and you start to go into, are we really not on top anymore? Or did we make a mistake? Or was it Virtus.pro? Those thoughts have to still be swirling in their head. It's just a matter of how well they can tune them out and get focused on this matchup.
Right, and that's really what's important. I think that's kind of what he was referencing. It's like we just need to focus on what we have today. It's unfortunate in a way that they go up against one up-and-coming, really hot team. I mean, it's hard to even call them up-and-coming, Virtus.pro, and then immediately into NiP, who played out of their minds yesterday and had a great set as well. So a bit of a gauntlet. Naturally, I think they play Space Station next week. So Envy need to find some wins here. They need to find some momentum as well.
But yeah, this is really, NiP have to, this is a big test for NiP in that same regard. Even though Envy are a little bit down, this is a bit of a test for them, because if they don't have that kind of same stellar performance, you got to look at the competition that they were facing as to why that maybe started to happen. And this is really a test of, are you competing for the 1 seed, right? I mean, this is a good test for that. But in the same vein, with Envy a little bit down and out, you have to try to win this.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, this is the chance, right? Even if you are competing for the 1 seed, this means that even if they beat you next time around, you're tied in the doubleheader. And then it comes down to points and how hard you won. So puts them in a great position.
You are not
the
welcome
Raid
here.
Boss's health bar is at half meter right here on the side of Envy.
Exactly.
NiP have a chance here to
He's vulnerable.
potentially, well, it sounds harsh, but kick them while they're down a little bit. I mean, they're in a reset phase right now, and today is going to be a good indicator of where they're at kind of in that timeline. Bans coming out, though. Torvald, Makoa, pretty standard, but then the Cassie. We saw Envy really like the Cassie ban yesterday, just not wanting that to get through, but then Drogos on the opposite side, making sure Random Noob doesn't get his hands on that, but favoring the Khan first as the first pick.
The Cassie really punishes the aggressive tanks, and she's very good when you let her out, but Envy are very good at drafting in general. So if they know that they're not going to get the advantage, maybe they want to first pick Khan. They know Cassie could go 1-2 with something like a Ruckus Cassie and really put them in a bad spot for that Khan. They're not going to allow it. Plus, too much flexibility, too much mid-range in a map that's really all about the mid-range here. But I think Envy are also aware that there could be a pip coming from NIP. Bittner has gone to that again and again, and on Brightmarsh, and it was a huge theme yesterday.
He played it, I guess, 2 out of the 4 games yesterday, if not more. I might be forgetting one of the maps, but in a clean 4-0, he played it at least twice from what I can remember. They are going to go back to the Genos, though, our Envy. Leon Genos stack, pretty strong. Khan as well, making his way through, the beneficiary of some of these interesting intermediary bans. Normally he's one of those 4, but not here today.
Oh, look how
but they're
hard
give
you're
Rude
trying.
Yeah, and they're going to get the pip like we mentioned as well. We were just talking about this, and here it shows up. The real question for me is, where does Random Noob go? Because I saw this tendency for him not to go for Eevee. Even though Eevee was available, he would opt into Drogos on maps like this or into maps like Ice Mines, and it wouldn't really work out for him. And the Eevee is available. It's open. The hit scan is taken. Cassie's gone as well. You may see a Zen, but he can maneuver around this. There's no hard counter for the Eevee quite yet, but they're aware of the Tyra. So the option is, if you take the Zen instead of the Eevee, you are a little bit easier going at a Tyra who might be able to mark you and put your blink situation into a lot more of a burst.
Well, the last damage dealer yet to be seen here for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
It's smarter.
It just means more here on the side of NiP. They have the pip.
Shaolin could be Shaolin. We saw great success from Shaolin earlier today in our first set, so it could be him. Could certainly be the. Do you like Tyra or Shaolin here? I mean, in general. I mean, on this map, Tyra, we've seen her work well.
I like Tyra. I mean, I think I like Tyra in the sense that she kind of answers back some of that.
Don't hesitate to ask.
Wow. Okay.
So Ying. So none of the above. Answer D. None of the above.
Well, really, they need that fifth main healer, right? And that's kind of the thing that we weren't looking at. You see Pip, you think, okay, the heals are down, but when you really look at it, that's a Catalyst Pip. That's going to be run by Bittner. So they're really picking for Bird there, and they're going for the triple tank. And Ruckus is going to be what Bittner plays instead of trying to. Actually, sorry, is going to be most likely what Alex plays, I would assume.
Right. That would make sense.
But this will be interesting because. Alex is going to be on the Ruckus, which we've seen Bittner kind of flex to when given the opportunity, but they have Ruckus and Pip here. So I wonder if they'll feel more confident with Alex switching that role or Bittner kind of taking on the Ruckus instead and letting Alex see if he has a Pip. I mean, he's played the Bomb King for them. I don't know.
I mean, do you think that lineup works into what Eevee has drafted?
I actually feel that this lineup is pretty good, and the big game Cassie would have been really good for Envy against this lineup. The Leon has a tough, tall task, but hey, it's Envy. They can do anything.
They can do anything, and what they need to do now is bounce back from yesterday. Game number 1 on Bright Marsh is about to get underway. Let's send it down to the casters to get it started.
Thank you, gentlemen, as we head into Bright Marsh here for game number 1 of what I assume is going to be our great set of the day. These two teams are ready to go at each other's throats. Gormizer, a pretty unique little lineup here. Yeah. Right out of the gate for NIP, something that Envy probably aren't super used to playing against.
Well, and if anything's to be said about the way this game might go, Bittner tweeted yesterday after having such a phenomenal set of games playing Pip, he likes making fried chicken. And that is exactly what he does when he plays this. That ult did so much work for him.
That didn't click for me. I read that tweet, and I was just like, okay. And I just moved on with my day. I did not think that was a reference to an Evil Mojo.
A big ol' Evil Mojo. Or maybe just a kill on random noob.
I mean, this is basically the only team that's playing Pip right now to this effect. I mean, it's been incredible to watch. Answered 1 for 1 here as NIP will grab an early 36% lead on the objective. Potion goes out, and Nara under pressure. Mr. Hayes under some pressure now, chasing it down. Tenor wants it, and Tenor's going to get it.
I mean, the kills so far are really good, but Envy has been dancing around the objective, which is one of the things that I think is going to keep them strong. The problem is they just don't have anything to answer this Pip until right now. There's so much damage from Bittner coming down and a lot of control coming down from him that they really need that kill to happen more often. Random Noob has to find that trade almost every time they go into that fight.
Alex playing Barrack as well. This is not something I think we're used to seeing from NIP. I've never seen Alex play a frontliner in my life. Now, NIP, I think they won their set yesterday off being so aggressive. You think this comp's going to be able to match? Held the phone here, and Overpower's coming out very early from Rubu. He's getting so much damage out that already Evil Mojos are flying as well. Both of these teams are going at it. Double kill for Alex Rubu. A little bit on his own right now, but he's happy to just go toe-to-toe with the Dwarf.
And trying to do whatever he can, but they lost so many members on Envy. He has a Jinna's behind him, and that is all Rubu has to work with right now. The shield, his self-heal, and then a little bit of trickling through. The damage amp is going to be good, but
this healing matters.
So low.
This healing matters from Pip right now. He's back to 50% on his ultimate right now. Tenor is the jack of all trades, the true Swiss Army knife for ninjas in pajamas as they grab the first payload of the game.
Whatever NIP have been doing from week 1 where they look pretty good to now where they look phenomenal, they need to be hiding their notes, really. They don't want anyone to catch up to them. The way they're playing this has been ridiculous. Yesterday they looked solid, but I mean, this is now doing the same thing they did to Renegades, but now against Envy.
Let me see the healing charts. I want to see what Tenor was able to put out in that first fight. Almost
about
10K healing. Almost more than half of what Bird was able to put out in that fight. I mean, this Pip, on top of bringing good damage, getting kills, chasing people down, and having an ultimate available that quickly, I mean, Tenor is truly the MVP of that first fight. So much value from this Volpine.
And when you look at the numbers, right, give NIP pretty much 1.5 healers then, right? If he's going to match half of what Bird can output, give him 1.5. Rubu brings a lot of damage to the table and has a little bit of the healing, but it's going to be like 1.1 on the side of Envy, right? It's just going to be enough to really keep him alive and keep Rubu in the fight. Maybe grab someone coming through. And Rubu right now is the only saving grace. I mean, Rock Monkey, uncharacteristically 2, 4, and 5, whereas Rubu 7, 1, and 3.
Rock's getting dove on a lot at the moment, and I think Rubu is more often than not feeling that pressure. Another Evil Mojo comes out. Tolki's going to try and keep this fight together, and he does so beautifully. Turnaround kill onto Bonker might slow things down. The Envy pace looking good, looking strong on the defense here. There's a Spike coming over to try and put some pressure on the Ying. Maybe thought he was going to be able to catch Bird, unable to do so. Tenor, Alex filling up the kill feed. Has only 49 seconds on the clock. NIP are starting to see some momentum.
I mean, the shots are still going all in favor. The kills all in favor. Everything all in favor of NIP. That's a full wipe against Envy. And yesterday was the start of what might be kind of recollection week coming up here for Envy. They're going to have to spend a little bit of time thinking about what they need to get done. And I mean, right here, I think they're looking at the wrong targets. They're looking a lot at the Ying. They're looking a lot maybe at the Ruckus, the Barrack. I think they need to look at this Pip, and they need to get rid of it fast.
It's tough, especially in the early game, though. I mean, how do you chase it down? How do you account for, a 1,200 heal? Pip's already, a fairly beefy guy at about 2,200 HP, so he's sitting there at 3,400 before Cauterize comes online. So he is a tough thing to deal with, and it's just it's like an ace in the hole for them. Nobody else is doing this with Pip.
I mean, being able to come in, have the performance, so the damage that Pip already outputs, and you add in the fact that he's slowing people, and he's keeping the heals up, and then there's still Evil Mojo. Yeah. Like, I haven't even mentioned the fact that he's getting his ult up, and this is, I think, if anything, a very low morale boost, right? This might not even be with a morale boost. Imagine if he decides late game to pick up a morale boost 3 and just, hey, I'm going to fire 3, 4, 5 ults in a round. What are you going to do about it?
The one thing that's keeping Envy in it right now is the 7-2 Khan at this point. Rubu has had 2 overpowers this game, working his way towards his 3rd. Rubu, his first pick Khan, right? He is making the presence of this frontliner felt, getting in there, getting involved, trying to make sure that his point stays safe. Envy, though, falling, collapsing at the seams at the moment. Rubu manages to get one. Random Noob's in the back line, but NIP don't care. Triple front line dunks it home on Brightmarsh.
This is, I mean, yesterday I think I used this phrase at one point, but this is scary for Envy. I mean, it could be the story of a girl, but I'm pretty sure this is just going to, I mean, Envy are the ones crying a river right now. That's weird.
Yeah.
This is not, after yesterday's set, this is not the way you need to start today.
Definitely. It's tough. I mean, this happens at the turn of the season, right? With a big meta shifting patch. The patch that Envy won the World Championship on is gone. It's not the same meta anymore. And I think Genos is coming up. I think Lazy, really brought up the stock in Barrack last week. Na'Vi definitely making that character more fought after. And I think after this week, you have to look at NIP and you have to look at Tenor's Pip and say, is this something more teams need to be running?
Hell, Alex was the one that I think was, I would assume making a switch onto a frontline would be the worst thing. He's 10-2, now he's 11-2 with that kill onto Rubu. Like, this switch has been comfortable for them. They're dumping so much damage into an Inara, and they don't even get the kill.
Look at where he is.
That's 3 down for Envy.
Look at where he is right now. Look at, this is NIP, man. They are playing with pressure. They are putting their foot on your throat, and they are not letting go until the game is over. And then as soon as the next game starts, it's right back there. Overpower comes out, but Rubu just dies. Envy are in shambles. I'm telling you, bro, putting this amount of pressure on, people don't know what to do. Na'Vi wouldn't know what to do. Envy can't figure out how to deal with it. Nobody knows how to deal with the in-your-face style NIP are playing.
And there's no semblance.
And they're so good at it.
There's no semblance of pushback from Envy. There's just, like you said, it seems scrambling. What do we do? How do we beat this? What do you do when there's a Barrack locking you in your base, and the Barrack's the DPS player that you were preparing? Maybe he's gonna play a Cassie. Maybe he's gonna play Leon. He doesn't care. Alex is comfortable. Bittner is just as comfortable. Although I will say, Pip ult count, well, now it goes up by 1. Keep track of those throughout the set, because I feel like it's gonna be high if he keeps getting it.
2 minutes on the clock now. Payload moving. This is a triple front line. This is Brightmarsh. They are supposed to win early. They are supposed to put this game away as quickly as possible before Wrecker and Cauterize can slow down what this composition looks to bring before its lack of damage is going to start to show. 1:43 now on the clock. Diggy Dog feeling the heat from this Fernando lands. Bonker might be meeting a similar fate, but more and more members of Envy are falling. Gormizer, can they bounce back from this?
I mean, they're going to have to do a lot of work. Rock Monkey needs to get more than just Bird here. He's going to have to apply the pressure. Tolkien cannot fall, but he is just on the precipice of his life. He falls down. Alex gets another kill on this Barrack. And I mean, this is holding on by a thread right now for Envy. The only thing they have going for them is the high ground.
Hill is starting to push, but Envy almost entirely stabilized. Spite is going to miss. Random Noob gets caught in a rough spot, forced to expend Billow just to survive. A lot of front line in front of this payload, though, for Envy. I feel like they might be able to stabilize this, but NIP don't want to let go. They pop Illusory Rift. Hexafire's coming out. Diggy shut down. Tenor shut down. Whirling to the back line. Random Noob finds himself a double kill, almost with the triple, if it wasn't already taken by one of his teammates. 47 left as NIP lose that fight.
And what we're looking at right now, that is the presence from Envy that has not been felt at all this game. Like that was, I was genuinely about to say that this is not the Envy I saw 2 weeks ago. This is not the Envy that I've seen scrim. This is not the Envy that I'm used to talking to. Like everything that I've seen from them, at least in this game so far, has not felt like them until that last moment. And now it's already being turned right back on. It's at 40% pack up for Pittner on his ult. And just imagine if this round is a defense, he's just going to have another one ready for the next round.
Here come those ninjas. This is Envy's map selection as well, so the ninjas are running them out of their home base. Tolkien goes down, Hayes is down. Dome Shield gets slammed as the NIP roster will try once more to claim victory in game number 1. Overtime has started. Khan is turned into a chicken and fried. Tenor loves it. Rock Monkey hits the Enlightenment, but boy, is it it's just useless. It doesn't do anything there for Envy.
They go to their map. They get a draft that admittedly
is
probably going to be very, very solid for them. And then they get 4-0'd. They took a heavy loss yesterday. And, I mean, you can already see it. Like, not quite sure what to feel, what to think. Meta Pusher's going to have a lot of work to do to get back in there and get those boys in shape.
Well, my question for the desk is, after feeling their mortality yesterday, how important was this Game 1 victory for NIP? What do you think, Dave?
What do I think? I don't know. That's hard. I mean, I think Envy needed that win. I mean, they still have certainly a chance to come back in this. They didn't get it, right. But I think from a morale perspective, they really could have used that and at least something closer. At least a 4-3 that doesn't go their way, but a clean 4-0. I mean, that is kicking them while they're down. I mean, that is tough. They got a lot to think about. They have some time to turn it around in this set. There's just too much pressure coming in from NIP. 18-3 on the Barrack, 10-5 on Pip. I mean, how do you deal with that?
You deal with it in the draft.
Right.
You needed big game Cassie against something like this. It was the wrong prioritization at the wrong time. The bans were off. The prep wasn't done for some reason because this Pip is also the big game changer.
Right.
He's the one who's bursting people down, forcing cooldowns, and then Alex is just coming in. You think Barrack's hard to kill as a frontline? How about as a DPS? All he does is just get in here. He can get out 3 times over. He can rocket boots once, he can get 30% rocket boots again. He even tried to chase him. He can get healed by Pip. He's got another life. He goes back through the heal. He's got a dome shield. He can throw turrets down, heal from that. He can throw his barricade up. By the time that's done, he's got his rocket boots back again. Alex went 18-3 on Barrack against a world championship team. Obviously, that's unacceptable on the side of Envy, and they also know that there was a reason that was happening. This might have been the cause, but it might have been a symptom of a draft that just didn't allow them the ability to deal with the triple front line and the ability to deal with Pip. Maybe Mr. Hayes needs to be a Pip player because it is so crucial for Bittner. They either need to play it
or ban it.
Or ban it.
Get rid of it. Right.
Something's got to happen.
Something's got to give.
Something's in the water.
Something's in the water. Certainly is in a good way on the side of NIP. I mean, it's tough, though. I mean, there's no way if you're Envy, I guess there is a way, to expect that, I mean, you have to, the problem is you have to draft around so much stuff, and they drafted, I think, such a specific lineup that allowed something weird like NIP had to do so well.
And Dave, I actually think that the Zen in this situation, unfortunately, the way NIP play this was the wrong call. It might have been the right call for some other style of this triple front line without the Pip, but the Pip needed pressure. No one could get to the Pip easy enough. And Zen, with all the cooldowns in the world, Bittner just had high ground on everyone. He would explosive flask, slow, burst you down to half health, then you're like, all right, I'm on the defensive end. No offense for me. If an Eevee was in the back line, blinking in, forcing NIP to play away from the point, forcing that, you know, when they push up, she's pushing in the back line. It could have been interesting. There's a lot going on here, and it's hard to separate the play from with a mental that you know is going on between these guys. It's pretty fascinating, though.
I think it's. I mean, Envy certainly didn't expect to lose yesterday. I doubt they expected to go down 4-0. I mean, I said game 1 was a big statement game. I mean, this is now a big bounce back game. I mean, if they don't have a better showing here, they lose a similar looking game here to NIP. I mean, it could be over after 2 games. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to avoid that downward spiral. You know, I mean, these are you can't forget they're your world champions. I mean, this lineup won a world championship. You can never count them out. But the mental game is so big. You lose a tough set yesterday, and then you lose a 4-0 to start the day.
Dave, you ever into a relationship at one point?
Nope, never broken up.
Never broke. Have you actually? Going to work the next day. If you got to get up at 8 a.m. the next day, it's tough to get your mind on the game. You're like, man, I got all this personal stuff going on, and I got to go back in, and I got to just do the. Yeah. Envy. That was a rough one yesterday. And it was Virtus Pro's coming out party, but it was Envy feeling like we might have lost that special thing, and we just committed our whole lives to being here. That's something that weighs on you at night, wake up in the morning, and it's hard to shake. They're playing with that, and it's getting to them in their ability to access these situations with the way that they normally do. Envy are normally getting the better end of the draft. Now, let's give credit to NIP and what they're doing. They're keeping NIP on their toes, and that's what I like about the way they're doing it. They may throw a pip. Now no triple front line.
They could.
What are they doing? You don't know.
Right. You don't know. There's too much unknown.
Come on.
The Damba, Barakanara Damba. I mean, so not changing things up on the side of Envy. They get the Eevee as well for random noob. I caught myself. I was about to say, well, the pip's not going to come out this time for Bittner, but like you said, I mean, it could, if they really wanted it.
It actually could.
It could still.
It's not amazing on this map, but they could. They're still looking for their what you would assume is a secondary frontliner. Ruckus is available. I mean, it's something that fits with their flex options pretty well. And then they're looking for their healer, which they're last picking again. And because he brought out the Ying, you actually don't really know where they're going. Is he going to favor that today?
You don't know which way they're going. They're doing it so. I mean, they're already playing the confusing mental game already in the draft. So luckily, maybe for the side of Envy, Ninjas of Pyjamas 5 looks a little more standard than maybe what they're used to. Strix, Drogos. Coming out for them.
I think you feel good about Strix here.
Final damage coming out on the side of Envy. What would you like to see to round out this lineup?
Well, the Cassie's fine too,
man. Cassie's what you'll get, regardless of what you want to see.
Regardless of what I want, I'm getting Cassie.
Right.
Yeah, I thought the Cassie ban was odd. If you're going to ban Cassie Leon and make big it up both the tables, you can see a little bit more into the glimpse of what they're doing. I think if Envy go Cassie here, the big game option doesn't transition as well onto Ash Fernandez. A little bit more mobile and then the susceptible Inara Ruckus. But, man, will she be able to burn through those shields? Will she be able to still hit the Drogos? Yes. But I think it's just about pressure, getting vision, not being surprised anymore.
Well, on their side, you'd think they'd feel good about their lineup. You have an Eevee playing into a Strix. We saw that in the last set, actually, a little bit. Shadow finding some pressure onto Hecate on that Strix, not maybe able to find some of those kills, but that's really kind of the matchup to watch on the side of Envy. Drogos going to try to make life uncomfortable for Cassie on the opposite side, but
it counters Strix too. I mean, when you think about this, because they banned the Kinessa, Cassie's ult's going to allow every single member. Not that it's like
vision on the snipers.
Yeah, it's not surprising where he's going to be standing, but there are moments where he could be able to use that in a very crucial 1v1.
But looking at the lineups, quick thoughts either way. I mean, do you feel strongly about one lineup versus the other?
I feel like this actually could be a lineup that could get MV rolling again. I don't see any trick maneuvers that are going on with NIP. This will tell us how well NIP are actually playing, or if it's just MV being out of luck.
Well, they need to find a win here, get the momentum back in their favor. We're going to send it down to Frog Island, send it down to your casters, Nick and Gore.
Thank you so much, boys. Goremaster, no Genos, picked or banned this game. Looks like NIP just have more of their sleeve. They have drafts that they can run. They have differences and a little unauthorized use for the boy Bittner.
And I think this is them again, their map this time around. This is putting Envy into a position where they grabbed the Maldamba because they were like, we didn't have enough healing last game. The damage amp didn't do anything for us. Like, damage amp, Genos will only do well really from ahead. If you're falling behind, if you have a lot of cauterize against you, the healing is negligible. It really doesn't matter. You need something else to keep you going, and that is not the way to start it.
And they didn't even let him fall off the map. Alex kept the pressure on and literally hit another cross-map rocket. It looks like it is combustible up over the top here. Eevee find some pressure here. Salvo's going to go out onto the objective. Fernando's extremely low right now. He gets juiced back up to full HP thanks to Saris.
Right now, Envy are really lucky that they have Blink, Soar, Slither, and the Roll coming down from all of their champions just to keep them on, because I've seen so many almost knockoffs coming around from that hill, and it's just going to keep them locked down. But Alex that time doesn't even need it.
What?
He finishes off the Eevee.
How is he doing this with Drogos?
Yeah,
Eevee is not an easy character to kill with Drogos. I don't understand how he's able to find such consistent pressure onto this character. Combustible will land, knocking Inara off the objective, but she's already got Seismic Crash. Looks like it completely whiffed.
I'm going to ask, how many champions or how many players have we seen made the rotation from a Barrack to a Drogos? Right now, Alex being able to kind of keep both of them
Probably
really,
Bugsy.
really high tier. Bugsy's like the only one I can think of, and that puts Alex in a really good wheelhouse. A big kill right there is going to open the door. Finally, someone's able to answer him down.
And her flashbangs, the objective drops down, looks for Rock Monkey, convergence pulls him back. Beautiful play from Bird to keep his sniper safe. Shots continuing to land here. Tenor just will not miss, and the flare is good. Diggy Dog combines to find the kill. NIP do it with style.
And just the aggression, the pure aggression coming down from NIP is what is keeping them so far ahead. Envy getting 99%, and it doesn't even seem to bother NIP that much. The only time it felt like they might have lost a little bit of control was when Alex died, but now look, he's back and he's hitting just as hard as before.
He's hitting more headshots than not at this point on Barrack, and may not be the hardest thing. Alex's Drogos is looking so fine-tuned. Combustible, it's an off-meta character, off-meta talent on a guy that doesn't play a ton of blasters, and he's looking very, very good on it. Filling the shoes of a big blaster. Diggy Dog playing formerly for NIP there. What are your thoughts on this guy?
Honestly,
is there anything he can't do?
The thing that NIP are making me think of is Space Jam, which is a really weird analogy, but it's like that first week you come in and it doesn't go as clean as you want, like the Knights take you to 6, and you're just like, man, what's going on with us? They go in, they have their locker room talk, they come out and they're like, yeah, drink this. It's a bottle of water, but we'll say it's some magic stuff that's going to make you just so much better at the game. And then they scrimp. Whatever they've been doing behind the scenes has been 100% worth it, because this is like a brand new team.
Diggy Dog trying to keep pressure on this backside. Random starting to find some shots as well. Diggy running lower and lower here. Shot connects from Tenor. Keeps Random Noob on his toes. Soaring in trouble. Gonna get the heal, but Diggy Dog is just relentless. Dragon Punch comes out on the front side of this fight. The objective is inches from going in, but the fear, the stuns, the lockdown, looks like it's gonna be good enough. Flare connects, shot will not. Random Noob lives for now. Jumping shot on a rock. Second will miss. Another one onto Eevee, but Eevee gets the better end of it. This is a bloodbath.
And that, honestly, I'm gonna say was really solid from Random Noob. But I want to rewind that a second to look at the Strix, because he missed the hit scan shot, but hit the projectile flare on the in-motion Eevee. Like, those small things, like, if you connect those two, if you kill everything, like, those things are just so ridiculous to see from NIP right now. And again, it's really in this area where it's just like, I never thought Strix when I think Bender. Like, he has a certain wheelhouse, a certain set of champions that initially come to my mind. Right now, Pip is really big on that list. But Strix wasn't really high up there, and so being able to run at this level and have this much of an impact has just been marvelous.
Looking for the knockback onto Barrack. Rubu's got to be careful here. Diggy Dog playing with fire. Rubu playing with fire. That's what it's going to take, though. It needs risks to win this matchup. These teams are neck and neck. Diggy Dog getting in there, trying to back off now. No team really having the edge. Rubu gets tossed off the map. Random Noob dives as well. 2 for 1 in favor of NIP as we head into the final 5 seconds. Dragon Punch is coming up. Flare is available, and all Team Envy have to stand on is Rock Monkey's Scout. That ain't good.
I mean, Tolkien's still alive, but he's way too far back to do anything. He tries to jump down, but it is not going to be in time. That is now, I'm just going to have to say, 6 points in a row. 6 straight points against Envy, which Virtus Pro, I thought that was going to be a story where it's just like the only team right now, Na'Vi, was the one that looked like they could take down Envy. Virtus Pro take down Envy, and they aren't even able to accomplish this.
That fire spit. Alex is looking real good. What a pickup from NIP. Comes ripping out in his performances in the first couple weeks of the PPL. The man himself, the Bulgarian behemoth right now on Drogos. He is just behind Tenor's damage. Combustible Drogos looking very, very good. NIP still trying to play fast, still keeping Envy on the back foot whenever possible. It's showing.
I mean, 7-2-1, 5-1, and 4. Any kills Bittner isn't confirming is going all the way to Alex. They are working in tandem, and this is the definition of a damage duo, just making everything work.
Ooh, that combustible almost took somebody off the map there. Random's committing, but he gets exploded in the back line. A rocket and a snipe from the Talon rifle connect at the same time. Tenor with the headshot puts the pressure on a Rock Monkey. He's playing the Nintendo Switch skin. He's looking good, and he is feeling good about it.
I mean, just being able to find that, thread the needle over the head of another member of Envy to be able to connect that. The aggression's there. Maybe too much for Alex. Tolkien should be able to touch down on the point, but geez, not for long.
Not for very long at all. Back into the scope here, riding along with Tenor. Convergence pulls in Cassie. Flare combo is good. Tenor bursting people left and right. Saris playing a big role in this as well. 2 for 0, 72% in climbing. NIP firmly in control. Tenor is locked in.
I mean, these shots, these connections are something that you expect to see out of someone like Rock Monkey on the other side, but Bittner is giving them the business. They are making sure they see the wrong end of this rifle, and Alex, the healing has been so good. That time finally taken down, but look, Bittner puts another kill on his list.
Tenor blinded everyone there, got Alex out safely. Diggy Dog is in the back line of Envy right now, continuing to put pressure on. Tolkien is going to fall here. He does not have any sustain. Bonker grabs the kill. Tenor hits another one. Random noob. Rock Monkey just can't do anything. Tenor is keeping everyone on their toes.
I mean, this is just so much good from NIP, right? It's not even our Envy making mistakes. It's just that ninjas in pajamas are so locked in right now. And Bittner is finding these phenomenal shots. Being able to see a sniper play at this level is one of the best things that I feel like you get graced when you see the top teams play. And Bittner is putting his name right on that list.
This is the first time we've seen a sniper be such a heavy win condition on Frog Isle in a long, long time. It used to be a hard and fast rule that if you could get a sniper and the other team couldn't on Frog Isle, you were pretty much done and dusted, destined to win that game. Now, it's a different story. Look at the pressure from Diggy Dog. He's getting feared, but he's still getting value in the back line. Another 1-2 punch headshot into the flare. Unauthorized use, unauthorized talent. It's Bittner, simply will not slow down.
And this just seems like NIP recognize everything. I mean, imagine how much Paladins they have where they're any talent that they want. They could probably come in and run to make it look this good again. You were saying it doesn't see it too often. I feel like we're about to see it a lot more.
Just let them know. Just say, hey, might be dying here. I'm not going to get staggered out in no boring fashion. I'm going to come in. I'm going to smoke this Eevee one more time. Send the message. Oh, you're the flank here. Oh, I'm scared of you. Oh, this is my bad matchup. Let me just go ahead and flip the script on this one. 1 minute on the clock here. NIP looking for their 8th straight point, 2nd straight map, and a whole lot of momentum against Team Envy, the world champions. Looking like they are just falling apart. Alex and Tenor go down here. It's a 3-for-1, so Envy will hold for now.
I mean, this is exactly what they need to be able to find themselves some control, some semblance of control at least in this game. A nice body block, going to keep Diggy Dog there, and they're going for a nice big stagger. 40 seconds on Frog Isle is a lot, but it looks like Diggy's about to spend 10 seconds of that pretty much back in his base trying to figure out how to come through. And the team fighting a perpetual 4v5. This might be the final breath of air that Envy have needed for about the last like 20 minutes.
This might be a slowdown here. Envy and Ninjas in pajamas. We'll go to a 3-1 if this defense holds. It will be tough to fight against the comeback mechanic. We'll have to see if the opportunity presents itself. NIP, best believe they're going to put their foot on the gas and end the game here. Bonker finds the first call on Arubu. Tolkien's going to go down as well. The front line is gone. Team Envy have to wait 6 seconds for Barrack, 8 for Inara before they're going to have any opportunity to contest this payload.
I mean,
again.
This is rolling in. I kind of want to see what the items are right now for NIP. They've been able to get 600 credits, and just look at that.
Do they hit the gas?
They're going for it. I mean, at this point, I expect to see a convergence come through, and if that connects on enough people, that should be able to lock it down. That's another big kill onto Tolkien.
Envy are spending ultimate score, Miser, and they're not getting anything for it. Convergence is ready. It's going to go to the high ground here. Won't find anything. Can Bird stay alive? Can he continue to heal his team? Big shots from Noob. This is it. This is the shot. Rubu will connect it for him. Say, this is easy for me. Bunker falls as well.
Jeez, they needed that.
Oh, my goodness. And they certainly did, because Envy are spending their ultimates and not getting anything. Should NIP have held their ultimates there, getting so much out of Team Envy coming into this 3-1?
I think once that It's unfortunate because I think it was the third ult to come down. But once Convergence didn't find anything, that's when it's just like, cool, we need to pull back. But they had already used so much. Coming into this, comeback mechanic enabled once again for Envy. Plus, they're going to get their ults up. I think it's just a little faster, depending. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on the damage. Right now, Alex and Bittner are doing a ton of work.
Man.
They have a flashbang. And the reason that's, normally I would never highlight that, but Bittner made that play last round where it's just, I blinded everyone and got Alex out safe. Imagine if he uses some aggression. And again, 2 and 10. And I could say that and you could take a guess at who in this game would have the slash line. Rock Monkey would not be on that list.
Rock is struggling here, and Tenor is just, I believe, having one of those performances. It's such incredible stuff we're seeing. Bonker's trying to stay out of line of sight. He's looking for somebody here. Tenor can't find a line of sight. He needs to get involved in this fight. He wants Rock. He smells Rock behind that pedestal. He's going to settle for some pressure onto Inara at the moment, but it's just not good. Damage crosses the way. He'll find Hayes. Big combo there with the flare.
Not enough to kill him off, but enough to apply the pressure. A nice shot onto Random Noob. The Ice Storm just kind of thrown out behind the tree, trying to keep himself safe. Going for the healer. Finds the healer and gets out. But will he be able to stay alive forever? Everyone's looking to collapse down on him, but right now this is Envy's fight to win.
And it will be 99% for Envy, the comeback mechanic. No ultimates for NIP either. Yeah, relatively quiet fight from Tenor relative to what we've seen so far. Envy will go on their first offense of the set.
That was just full pressure. Like, Random Noob finds a good spot to be able to get aggressive, goes and gets bird. But I think if NIP had managed to save even just one ult from the previous round, that goes another way. Did not use the flashbang, did not even call for it. It looked like they didn't necessarily seed the ground, but they recognized that this was going to be a fight that was going to be tough to win no matter what.
That's a pretty bold dome shield there. Tolki's going to go for the seismic crash. Envy actually want to try and make something out of this body blocking Diggy Dog. Tolki's going to stay involved, but get knocked to the low ground. That's a seismic crash and a dome shield that don't get much, but it is, you know, middle of the round, so what does that really mean?
It's enough time to be able to try and recharge. I mean, already 30% back up for Tolki. Unfortunately, you're going to have to spend more of the round alive getting damage than dead in your base. You're going to have to make sure you get something out of it. And now they're still finding the kills. They've actually been able to steamroll. Rock Monkey is turning this around. Again, going from 2 and 10. Now I'd love to see what he's been able to go because he's the 5 streak, 7 and 11.
Big turnaround here for Rock, and they certainly needed it. Envy, at times have looked to this guy to carry them through some of their darkest moments. If he's not showing up, he said it himself in a documentary, he hates that moment most, when his team is popping off and he's just kind of doing okay. Not to say his team's really popping off right now, but he is certainly not the one doing okay at the moment. He has felt the heat from behind the scope. He was attacked a little bit in this draft. You know, the Kinessa ban coming out quickly, Strix counter pick. Dragon Punch is ready to go here. There is a team fight brewing, make no mistake about it. Just where does that first pick come? Does somebody pop their ultimates? Who is going to set the pace of this fight? Do NIP care if they go down 3-3 here if it costs Envy everything?
I mean, that's going to be the goal. Try to get everything. Scout's going to be cost out and try to get a little bit of vision, but it results in kills on the other side. NIP are the one burning down Envy.
NIP have just been superb. I want to talk about Alex Strogos, but then I'm thinking about, you know, Tenor Strix, and then I'm thinking about Bird being able to play Saris and actually hit convergences. And I just don't know who I want to highlight the most right now from NIP. I do want to give Bird a lot of credit. Playing Ying, playing Saris, playing off-meta supports, and bringing that, you know, surprise element. Random Noob gets in here for the touch. He will start the overtime that he's either going to leave us at 3-3 or 3-2, depending on the outcome. There it is. Shot's not quite landing for Random Noob. He gets in. He gets back out. Saris continuing to just pour healing into this backline. Diggy Dog feeling some heat. Random Noob under pressure. He's going to soar away, but Tenor finds him running. Running back to base all the way across the map now. Mr. Hayes will fall. Snipe shots look like they could be good here. Rubu connects onto one. Tolki finds one. Is this it, Gore?
I mean, that's exactly what they need to start this off, but do they want to use the ults? There's the Dome Shield to create some space, but overtime's still going through. Diggy is in their face doing whatever he can. Even Bird's down there for some reason. He gets taken down, and that is the final nail in the coffin.
I don't believe it. They did it with no healing. Mr. Hayes just now getting back to the fight. Random Noob just now getting back to the fight. So the answer to our question was NIP don't really care. They're only going to get this defense if they get this defense with no ultimates there. Rock comes alive for a couple. after a rough 2-10 start. Johnny Boswell probably not happy with his performance at the moment here. Rough loss yesterday. Another rough loss brewing here today on Frog Isle. For BP gave it to him yesterday. NIP looking to do the same here, but we are down to a 3-3. 5 ultimates for NIP.
5.
Just Dome Shield pretty much used for Team Envy. Was that enough value on that defense?
And he was able to go 6-2 this time around, but you're going to have to do a lot to match the 23-8-12 coming down from Bittner. And that's what they played around last time. They stopped him from getting the vision that he needed, but if Bittner is firing off on all cylinders this time around, it's going to be a bigger threat. And that still connects. Toby Alex is getting alive. He's out.
He is out. He just barely gets in range of the Immortal. That is a high-value NIP offense there. And look at this. Assert Dominance is still up. Flashbang is still up. Convergence is still up. Diggy Dog is turning his brain off right now for this zone. Inara makes it through a decent bit on her horse. Noob in and out. Ice Storm connects. It's a seismic crash on the high ground. Diggy Dog from out of nowhere is going to crush Rock Monkey under his boot. Plant the flag, gets feared out, but he's probably happy because now he gets even more distance.
And being able to grab that stunned at literally the perfect time, or feared at the perfect time to be able to come in. Yeah, you're going to have Evie. Yeah, she's dancing around on the point, but she can't dance there for long. Neither can the Berg, neither can the Inara who just respawned. There's so much control from NIP.
They need damage right now. Where is Tenor? Where is Alex? They need to get back here. It's basically a full reset, but with NIP in the lead, 96%. Rock Monkey's on the low ground as well. He's spotted out by the flare. Trying to rotate, but he's pinned behind this pillar. Tenor lets him know that he sees him. Shots are going to be landing here. He doesn't want the Inara. He wants Rock, and he's going to get Rock, but Random gets Alex. Now it's a duel between Evie and Strix. Tenor is using every second of his time valuably. The flashbang won't connect up into the air, into the ice block. Random Noob versus Tenor. Who's going to come away with it? Cooldown starting to go. Ready for it. Tenor stealths around the corner and finds it. It's Bittner. Just will not let his team lose.
And now getting aggressive, getting in their face, finally backs up a little bit, but not in terms of his damage. Finds Rock Monkey, helps get rid of Tolkien, and they're in control. They get the overtime, they get the kills.
Truly a team effort, Herculean victory for Ninjas in Pajamas on Frog Isle. That one did not come easy, but it came all the same. Tenor with an absolutely robotic performance on Strix. Somebody check that man's mouse. I mean, goodness gracious. The decisions he was making, so smart. He wins the duel there with Rock Monkey across the way, then finds the in-between shot to kill Rubu, then wins the 1v1 with Random Noob. I mean, dear God. Desk, I'm sure you have plenty to say.
Plenty to say. Up here, needless to say, after a 2-0, or I guess it was a 4-3, 2-0 now for Nip. Lots to look at in that game, though. Bittner, really the storyline to watch. He was not missing that game. He was min-maxing. He found the kills. He found the angles. Found himself 160,000 damage to boot.
When someone walks into Frog Isle looking that dang good, you don't have to say a dang thing. You already know. You just look
28-9.
You just look at everybody and say, whoa, okay, all right.
No,
we all thinking the same thing, right? 28-9. Holy moly. But you got to speak about how NIP used the pressure and the performance of Bittner to continue to make things uncomfortable, specifically for Rock Monkey. Every single moment that Bittner would hit one of those shots, Diggy Dog, Bonker would realize this is the time for us to push Rock out of that hiding spot. There's only so many little angles you can hide away from a sniper on Frog Isle. That's why this map is what it is. So every single time you get half health, boom, they chase the pillar. They're like, all right, you're going to either take this damage from the flat cannon or the flame lance and die eventually, or you're going to try to escape and then die immediately with Bittner finishing off what he started. It was just a phenomenal performance. Some of these shots are stuff that should go down in legend.
Pretty nutty. Pretty nutty. I mean, you almost just want to let it play in this one specifically. Weaves in the headshot right over Inara. The driving force of this game, certainly Bittner, the rest of his team playing their roles as well, but again, you have to look at the flip side. You have to look at Envy. They played a lot better this game. They actually looked... they were contesting right up until that last overtime. There were so many fights where it looked like they weren't quite in it. They fought back, but still coming up just a little bit short.
Well, you know, you're having to deal with NIP who are clearly firing on all cylinders, but you got to deal with an Envy. I mean, the grand scheme of things is this is not a fully, performing roster of Envy. Rock Monkey was 2-10 after 3/4 of the game. If you're telling me that's Rock Monkey, okay, but we all know that's not Rock Monkey. So they were keeping in this game given that. The second he even has a slightly positive round, it's tied 3-3.
Right.
So as much as I'm confident that NIP are a top-tier team, we know we're not getting what Envy is eventually going to be bringing to the table. Question is, can they turn it around this set? They're already down. You can tell mentally this is a little tough. I think going 3-3 helped them to realize, hey, we can battle back on this. I think NIP is a little bit less like, we're rolling through these guys. More like, good win, but we got to stay focused.
We're playing our game. We have to stay on top of it. They're not going to get complacent.
No.
You can't get complacent because that's when a team like Envy can come back on you. I mean, what do you change if you're on the side of Envy? I mean, the draft
was fine.
Potentially, right. I mean, it didn't get away from them that time. It didn't seem like. I mean, honestly, maybe it just comes down to they're playing just a little bit behind the curve today.
They made mistakes, and it's not NIP only playing great, which they are. It is Envy made mistakes. The first moment where Rock Monkey kills, to start the tone of that game, he dodge rolls into a location that he should have just walked.
Right.
Because of that, he gets combustibled off the map. He doesn't have it until the 30% health comes down for his card to be able to dodge roll back again. By that time, he's too late. He's off the cliff.
Right.
So if he just walks there, he gets hit by the combustible, dodge rolls back on, then you go to a different spot. The problem is they weren't respecting that. They were just missing shots, and then NIP was hitting everything. So, I mean, it's a combination.
They gave him an inch. NIP took a mile is kind of the way to look at that, I think. So both snipers are going to get taken off the board here. Not going to be able to see any of that this time. Khan going back over to Rubu, so they're feeling comfortable with that Khan first pick again. With the snipers off the board, what do you look for offensive pressure?
I think what you try to do, if you're Envy, what I think you try to do here is you try to go as deep as you can into some of these pools, right? Because you've given Bittner a pretty easy lock and load with the strings, and you didn't get Rock Monkey on anything that he was. He loves bow characters, but he couldn't compete directly.
No.
So banning those out, now you're saying, okay, now what's the next level? Random Noob can keep going in these blasters. Can Alex play an Eevee? Can Alex, contend with that? Who are you gonna ban out? There's a lot of dynamics, but I think Envy are doing the right thing in this direction. The other thing you could do is Cassie Leon bans and try to open up, again, more atypical things on maps where Pip isn't seen.
Right. You have to look out for it on this side. Nip always have something up their sleeve. Presumably, Khan, the first lock here for Envy. They're going to have a couple more picks on their side as well. Potentially digging a little deeper into those pools, as Evan was just saying. The Eevee, going to be an easy pick here for Random Noob. Good map for Eevee. Random Noob likes this champion. Barrick as well. We've seen a lot of impact this series already from Barrick, so not surprising seeing that come out. But I think that kind of caters to your point, where you're taking some of the top tier stuff off the table, and now we're just testing depth.
Okay, so what can you bring that's going to match what you would have brought on that sniper? How strong are you going to be on this Leon? Is it going to be as deadly, or are we going to have a lot more wiggle room on this? Can Alex bring a Cassie here? It's going to be as detrimental to us in our playstyle as that combustible Jogos was. We're going to find out. That's what NIP are hoping to match. But it's going to be the Pip again. Envy now have saved, though, yes, a healer slot, but they've also slayed a DPS slot to deal with this.
That's true. They let Ninjas in Pyjamas play their card.
A little bit.
And now Envy have a chance to answer back to that. I mean, seeing the way Bittner played it yesterday, that's certainly something Meta had and the rest of the guys recognized would always be a possibility.
Yep.
So this actually, I think, is a very good, well-calculated draft here from NIP, allowing them to show their hand a little bit. They're going to get the Victor in the Saris. NIP looking to round out their lineup. Still need potentially one more hybrid-y tank-type champion on their side. How do you see an Eevee Victor playing into the Leon Pip that we see on the other side?
I see a lot of pressure created and a lot of opportunities for Victor to free fire, which is what he wants to do. Grenades are good in the cubbies because they can reach places because of the ricochet factor that you cannot reach on normal auto attacks like Leon. So it's not a bad pick, and Rock is familiar with it. I like Random Noob back on the Eevee. I thought he did well. And I think the big thing is, how can you stop the aggression from Diggy Dog? He has proven to be phenomenal on this role, even against Rubu. Maybe he's not having his best day. He's doing fine, though. But Diggy has really shown, hey, he's here to play. He's in the conversation.
Be ballsy, be aggressive, and make big plays, according to his notepad. Envy needing to get on the board here. Right. Those are words. Those are going in my Twitter. Those are in the Twitter bio.
You should change that to your Twitter bio for what NIP says.
Diggy 119, whatever his verse
exactly.
would be.
What was it? 411 when he said that?
Right, he said 411. I mean, is this a must-win round for him? Do you think if they go down,
man.
they go down 3-0? That's tough to come back from.
It's tough to come back now because even if you do 3-1, you're in a great spot to still have NIP win that next game, or 2-1.
Right.
Next game, make it 3-1, and now you're against the ropes. Getting to 3 now would be almost a death sentence. Envy have to win this game to give themselves a chance.
Well, they're going to look to do it. We're going to Timber Mill. Envy needing to find some momentum in their favor. They have a lineup they'll be comfortable with, but can they do it? Nick, Gore, take it away.
Well, here we go yet again. 2 games at Timber Mill in 1 day. Gore, how blessed are we?
I mean, it's been a treat not only to see the map this many times, but to see everything that's been, I guess, culminating to this point, right? Like, the first set, it felt kind of like Renegades grasping at straws. That's them trying to slow the game down, find a map they can win where they could at least prolong what was the 4-0 they had. This, to me, is Envy pulling something out that they didn't think they would need to pull out to try and at least, again, level the playing field and bring NIP down a little bit so they can try to take them out.
Again, I want to give Bird a lot of credit. I think he's been phenomenal. Crushed it on the healing charge. Hit a couple of big convergences as well. This game with Rally here and Seismic Crash, I'm looking for him to hit some big times in spaces. I want Bird to make his mark on this set.
I mean, the lockdown's ready. They have what they need. Rubu's locked in a corner. Random Noob's dead on the side. I mean,
surprised Rubu didn't just kill Tenor there. Tenor was 1 HP.
As aggressive as they have been every time. And Alex is just sitting up here finding the shots. What are you going to do when this Leon is hitting shots like that?
So there's 3 snipers in the game. There's Strix, there's Kinessa, and there's Eminence Leon. Especially here on Timber Mill. She is going to be able to easily sit at that range. But again, I'm so surprised Rubu didn't just kind of kill Tenor there. Tenor was 1 HP. Rubu was about half. I mean, I don't know. Tough decision there down the stretch. NIP are ahead 87% to almost nothing. Fade away, Ice Block, Void Grip as well. Here comes the barrage. Tenor just leaps onto the high ground, hits the Evil Mojo, but immediately doesn't like what he sees, turns back towards the objective, and starts putting pressure on tanks, making it very easy for Diggy Dog and Bonker to clean up a poor little Barrack who is all on his own.
And even though you don't see a follow-up kill coming down from that Evil Mojo, Bittner still gets exactly what he needs, right? He goes up there, he threatens Rock Monkey and tells him to get out of his way, and then everybody else on Envy is kind of in that, oh man, we have to react to this, we have to be careful, he's coming for us. He just backs off and is like, cool, I'm going to shoot the front lines a little bit more. Like, I'm just going to go find this guy and create all that space. Like, he's created such a threat on this Pip. I don't know if people understand how to deal with it yet.
I think next week will tell. People are going to be watching these NIP games and saying, we need to get Pip under control. We need to have an answer for it. We need to be able to play it.
And we need to be willing to ban it and if we don't do either of those. Like, there's one of 3 paths, right?
It's too much of a Swiss Army knife right now. Up over, cheeky little play here from Diggy Dog and Burr. They wanted to go for the setup onto the time and space. I like where their head's at. This Eevee, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Diggy Dog, easy cleanup for him. 50-50 HP. He's a big boy headed to the back line.
I mean, doing literally everything he can. Almost gets the setup with the Ice Block immune it, and it's one of those moments where at that point in time you think, okay, well, Even's going to make it out of this one. The blink down, blink back, like just too much damage is coming down from NIP and too much control onto this Eevee to have the performance that we expect out of Random Noob.
So much damage from Tenor as well. Control. This Eevee thought she was safe. Tenor is hunting everyone down this set. Dear God, he has looked out of control. He's not giving anyone an opportunity to get a word in edgewise. He's top damaging on Pip. Both games he's played it. He's top damaging every game this set. I mean, so far, Tenor has just been unequivocally an MVP for this set.
The control right now. Like, the Dome Shield just got forced out. There's going to be another Evil Mojo. The kill's not quite flowing from it just yet, and finally someone is able to take down Bittner. Random Noob gets aggressive, but they lose Tolkien in the process. They stay alive long enough, though, and that's almost a stabilization, except the front lines are still dancing around.
Good damage from Rock as well. He is not wavering here behind the sights of Victor. Random's just going to buy some time front lining on the objective. Alex diving, trying to get a kill on the Rock because he knows there's no way out of this fight for him. 14 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, no time.
So far to go as well. Not quite as far as Ice Mines, but Probably the second longest map in the game here, Timbermill. Tenor working his way around, trying to maybe get a touch. I don't know if anyone's going to get there in time. It will not be so. 1-1 after the first round. Team Envy versus NIP.
Diggy doing his best at the very end there, but it's, again, like you said, it's just such a long run. Like this, I think lengthwise, like it's just so horizontal on this map.
Yeah.
And around the point, there's a lot of verticality. Like there's just so much that you have to run through, even on mount, that it's going to take you forever to cross through this entire map. So really being able to find that at the right moment for Envy, being able to get this reprieve exactly when they need it. And that was Alex. At that point, it's not only trying to get the kill, but also recognizing, like, well, I mean, everyone else is dead. Like, what am I going to do here as a lone Leon other than try my best to get a kill?
5, 4, 3,
well, Victor able to seize back top damage after that final team fight there. He had a lot of free firing time there, and like we said, he stayed stoic, he stayed on point and on target. Horse is riding up here. A little bit of information gained by Random Noob as he blinks in, blinks back, soars up to meet Rubu here on the high ground. Tenor and Diggy poking and prodding as they were in the rounds prior. Why would NIP change it up if it worked last time? It's an Ice Storm that'll switch things up, though. Envy with the first frag this time around.
And at least being able to get rid of probably the biggest threat. They get rid of Bonker as well. They lose Tulky, but that's a great fight. Bird is still dancing around alive, though. And that's been the survivability, the support on NIP so far. Being able to flex from Ying to Saris and now play this Genos up there finally gets taken down and gives Envy some room to play with.
Well, Rubu's killed everyone at this point. And
it's the same thing as map 1, where it's like, cool, you are able to get a point, but like, it feels like it's all on the back of Rubu.
He loves his con, and he certainly does frag with it. Now, big shots landing from Random Noob as well. These are the type of mid-range bangers that won Envy the World Championship. Don't make no mistake about it. Those types of shots where Eevee can be her own setup are deadly. Diggy Dog working his way back in. Looking to put a little bit of pressure onto Tolkien. He's just going to drop the banner here. Nobody gets stunned out. Convergence won't be good as well. Making space to work. NIP have room to breathe.
And they're trying to do whatever they can. Random Noob's really low right there. Rock Monkey, Mr. Hayes go down. Bittner gets taken out in reply. But is it going to be enough? They lose Tolkien, and that is only one small break coming down. Unfortunately for Random Noob, he's not able to find another.
I mean, it's just the teamwork for NIP is flawless right now. The little things, the little wars that they start individually, I guess I should say the battles that they start are almost always communicated effectively to the rest of the team, and you see somebody else pick up the slack. You know what I mean? When Bird is able to kind of rotate out of these fights and you know, be under a lot of pressure from Eevee, Diggy Dog is doing some fancy footwork in the back line here. Tenor diving effectively. He's going to Evo Mojo a couple. Alex finds Tolki, and it's just more and more pressure.
I really wish, like, I feel like we could have someone separate, specifically for NIP sets, where it's just give me an Evo Mojo counter every time, like, Bittner hits an ult. Whether or not they get kills, I really don't care. I just want to know how often he's getting it up, because I feel like he has been such a high-impact champion, such a high-impact player this set, that if he's comfortable, if he's getting these ults as often as he does, it's just setting up so much success for NIP and almost just not guaranteeing failure for Envy, but putting them in a really tough spot.
Tenor is just diving people ruthlessly in the back. He's playing a flank Pip right now, and everybody memes on like, oh, you know, me Pip, me flank, but that's how this character has always been best utilized. It's not really a joke at this point, and Tenor is showing us exactly why. The capabilities of this character to just dive squishier backlines and bully them with good damage and a self-heal. It's just insane. I mean, he played a lot of Buck back in the day for Virtus Pro, and Pip is kind of the same sort of style. He's just furry Buck at this point, hitting just as hard. Recovery, you know, healing potion heal almost the same amount. Tenor is just very familiar with this playstyle. Heroic Leap, weightless, very translatable, I feel.
Chat's gonna have a field day with that sentence. They're coming through. But I mean, admittedly, it is the same playstyle.
I didn't realize what I did there.
Admittedly, I'd say Pip's the better version. Like, Buck is the cheap knockoff here. It's not going to be able to do anywhere near as much. Pip keeps himself alive, and he can polymorph people, find the kills a lot easier. Like, in terms of ult, I think that's really where the big difference comes through between the two. And Pip's definitely hits a lot harder.
There, now Wolfgang under some pressure. Mr. Hayes in the back line. Heal ready to go. Tenner's going to hit it. 1,080, but Rock Monkey's just lasering people down. Another barrage. Diggy Dog mitigates most of it with the shoulder charge, wind up, seismic crash. Alex pouring the damage out. NIP want to get this one through, and they will.
I don't think I've ever seen someone shrug off a barrage like that. Like this, just say like, you know what? No, you just can't do the damage to me. I'm just not feeling it. I don't want that right now. So I like, you know, on terms of this, let's come back to the drawing board a little bit later. Maybe then you can deal some damage. Maybe this round Rock Monkey's going to be able to get something off. But it's just, again, when you think about it, I'd actually put Rock Monkey playing Victor over Hecate playing Victor, like in terms of how likely I would think it would be to happen.
Definitely.
And in terms of the performances we've seen out of the two of them today, Hecate's Victor definitely was a much more comfortable flex for VP than what we're seeing out of Rock Monkey here.
Yeah. And I'll disagree in a way that I think it's just NIP are winning this set. They are just playing with so much more pressure that it's gonna appear that way. I'm sure they're both, they're incredibly high caliber victors, but the way these sets play out, it'll feel a certain way. You might say, oh, this is so-and-so's fault. I really feel that NIP are just playing so nutty today. Alex in a 1v1 here with Random Noob. Random in and out of the ice block, and that is not the World Championship EV performance from him. That is a 1v1 you have to win.
I mean, this comes down to exactly what you said. You can't blame, like, it's no individual on Envy, just like it's no individual on NIP. Who do you highlight from this team for playing so well?
That was an individual failure right
that
there.
That one does, we'll have to add that one.
He should have won that. I will come out and say that, black and white, he should have won that.
There's so much going right for NIP, and it goes back to what we said last game. It goes back to the first game. Who can you highlight when all four players are playing out of their damn minds?
This is tough, man. Evil Mojo, they have to run into that Seismic Crab. Random's already dead. Tolki is fried. This looks like game number 3 under wraps. NIP have just given what the desk deemed the death sentence. 3 games in a row over Envy. Envy lose 4. They win 2 against VP, lose 4 straight, and now they are primed to lose another 4 straight here to NIP. So much momentum. They are chilling. This is a tough road to bounce back from, but it ain't over till it's over. Let's get it back to the desk and get game 4 primed.
Envy have now lost 7 maps straight, if you count their set yesterday, which is not something I think a lot of people would have expected.
No.
I mean, there's 2 sides to this coin. I think one, you look at NIP playing so well. Bittner's playing out of his mind. That entire lineup. The teamwork that we were talking about this on the desk watching the game, they're playing so cohesively and well as a team right now. There's a moment where Bird's about to die.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team collapse, get him out and alive, then he comes back into the... I mean, there's just so much going right for them.
Yeah, and this Pip is unstoppable. You could say that's what it is, but there's so many other factors that are making it an impossible thing to solve. Alex is playing very, very well. He's flexing onto Jorgos and Leon and whatever else shows up, and he's not dropping a beat. So that's what you need. And you're looking at these kind of moments here. What they're doing is they're going with the Pip and Diggy. It's Bittner and Diggy, and Bittner's already playing lights out. You can tell from the aim. But Diggy as well is playing so well on this aggressive front line, and they're basically turning this Ashe, especially with the Luminary, with 2 Luminary champions that should not have that amount of damage, now having that damage, being played in an aggressive damage role. And like we mentioned, Envy's lineup was built to either apply that pressure or fail. Victor cannot have Pip and Ashe show up in the back line and be like, yeah, what up, let's do it. Pip can, though. Pip can have anybody show up and Evil Mojo them and kill them. And I think that's the thing. They just have champions that can't play under pressure well, and it's really hurting them because NIP are all about applying the pressure faster than you.
You know, I think we've tried to look at it maybe so many different ways, but I think at the end of the day, NIP they're just playing as a better team, regardless of the way you look at it. I mean, if there were, like you just said, if there were a lineup that were to work for Envy into the lineup that they were playing against, it would have been what we just saw. They didn't play it well enough, frankly, to beat NIP.
And you talked about Envy losing, what, 7 in a row?
7 in a row now.
Let's talk about NIP winning 7 in a row.
They won 7 in a row.
Renegades yesterday, and now they're 3-0 against Envy. I think at this point, this is clearly the team that is alongside Virtus Pro, alongside we haven't seen another glimpse at Na'Vi in the top contention for this spot. You know, I think we've seen a lot of these other teams give it a go at it. Pittsburgh Knights, Kanga still waiting to see all of what they're bringing to the table. Space Station, we don't know what's going on with them. But I mean, Na'Vi, NIP, Virtus Pro, those are looking like the teams that are going to be vying for that spot. Now, in Envy, taking 2 losses here, I mean, this is tough for the rest of the season. I don't want to get too like disparaging about it, but you're losing to these 2 teams that are going to be vying for top spots. It's going to be hard to make such a comeback. You're going to have to at least win those games next time around. And I think the set is to balance it out. I mean, I don't know how they win 4 against NIP playing this well. I don't think it's possible.
I don't know if they can. I mean, they need to take it 1 map at a time. I mean, that's the only way to look. I mean, it's hard as a player to sit there and say, all right, we're down 3-0, but let's just focus on focus on this one. But what you need to do is say, all right, we win this one. Now it's a 1. You know, it's a two game stretch. All right, we win the next one. Now it's 1. But at the end of the day, NIP are just playing too well. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to give a 4-game sweep a chance the way NIP are playing right now.
They're playing great.
You then look at maybe the draft strategy from Envy here. I mean, they've looked good at times. I mean, that Frog Isle game was on a knife's edge. I think that maybe if Envy would have been able to win that one, maybe the momentum's in their favor at that point. But it's hard. I mean, do you pull out something just weird now if you're Envy? Or do you stick with what's comfortable and hope that your play just improves?
Honestly, I think you just try to keep establishing your identity, and you have to try to just get your morale to the point where
will fight to protect
you
the
feel that we're just
going
to give it our best, and it might have been an off day, and we just need to go back to the drawing board and have some time between our next matches. That's really all it is. But it's been a clear lesson for practice makes perfect. The 2 teams that have been here all week scrimming nonstop, and now Envy's been scrimming at home, but the ones we've seen, they have won every single game over the last 2 days. There's been no contest. No one else has won a game against those 2 teams.
Right. Been clean sweeps across the board here. We would not have expected that. I don't
think crazy.
I mean, the way NIP were playing, you know, people probably would have had them winning today, but I certainly didn't have it, at least in my brain, in this manner. Envy are going to get the Genos, though. I'm trying to think back to this set. I'm not sure that Hayes has played the Genos. Maybe once earlier in the set.
He played the first game, and the issue was he was getting dove so much, he had no way to get around. Timber Mill, it's hard to dive the Genos, even if they're going for the EV. I think Envy have to commit to something, and it's an identity. Do you take the Pip? I mean, what a hilarious start that I said for this set, making fun of Mr. Hayes not playing Pip, when it turns out to be like one of the keystone champions as to why they're losing it. I was just joking, but it turned out to be such a huge deal. If they could bring that Pip back, that might be the thing that could put NIP under pressure and really open things up for Rock Monkey. He needs a great game if they're even going to have a chance.
But NIP are doing the same thing where all right, we'll show you the Cassie, we'll show you the Inara and the Damba. That kind of mystery 5th pick is still sort of up in the...
Is it going to be another tank?
Who knows what it could be? I mean, you got Bomb King and Fernando, so good lineup by all stretches of the imagination for Envy. You got good targets to put that Astral Mark on. Now it's up to NIP. See what they have on the side of Envy and choose what direction they want to go.
I like what they did. Took the Ash away from Diggy Dog. You're going to test the Eevee, and, you know, Diggy can play Eevee. I don't know if he'll... Obviously, he's staying on those 2 frontline roles, so this is going to be either Bittner or Alex, right? For the most part. So we'll see how that can test. I think Bomb King, though, that's a big conversation. That's one of Random Noob's go-to blasters. They've got the Genos again, and they take the Ash away from Diggy. Could that be the change for Envy? Serpent Beach is a solid map, man, and if you're going to get a win, it's got to be here. Otherwise, NIP are just, they're by and large the best team going on right now.
Right, I mean, so another way of maybe rephrasing that is, Envy have put themselves in a position with this, like, if this is the map,
you've at least
this is the lineup that you will win with. If you've kept yourself in the game, you've given yourself a firm footing to potentially win with this lineup.
I mean, if you're gonna take some casualties, right? At least like have a casualty that means something. Get some intel. If you're gonna go send the kind of guy, the scout in, you know he might not come back to give you. At least let him give you some information. Send a carrier pigeon to let you know, hey, they got guys inside. Just letting you know.
Well, the carrier pigeon is there if they want to use it. Envy on the brink of a 4-0. NIP on the brink of a 4-0 on the opposite side. Let's send it down to the casters to get it underway.
Hopefully those boys aren't shook. They got one chance to dance here. And then they got to do that dance 3 more times if they want to get a W in the column here. It is a tall, tall task. What a mountain to climb. My goodness, what a performance from NIP over the past couple of days. Virtus Pro as well. It's coming down to it's the Paladins who wants it more league. I like that a lot.
Who's going to put the grind on? Who's going to kind of nose to grindstone, make sure they can stay ahead of every other player. And the fact that it's gotten to this point where it honestly feels like maybe there's 1 or 2 teams at the bottom that still need a lot of work. Like, there's a little more molding for the Renegades to get up here. The top, like, 5, 6 teams, I have no idea what to expect.
Ooh, pinching going on here right now. In some trouble. Envy are commanding this map at the moment. They are clumped up. Bird is under pressure, getting dove. Alex finds the first blood. This is a critical kill on the backline here. Stunned out. Look at this healing, though, coming through from the gore. The slither away. Bird, what a factor he's been today. And Mr. Hayes will die for it. Support for support, NIP. But my goodness, Bird, what a player. He dives and survives so long against the onslaught from Rubu here. Another delicate dance is going to go the way of NIP. And the first payload as well. Gore, this feels a little over.
I mean, it's the note I took between games about the way NIP are playing. And it's been the same for round 1 every single time. It's just foot to throat. That's their mentality. It's just, we're going to get so aggressive. We're going to, instead of doing that dance at the beginning every team seems to do, where it's like, I'm going to feel you out a little bit, let you feel us out a little bit, like, who's going to, like, get this point, who's actually going to take over. They're just like, we're just going to run up and kill one of your boys, and then see if you can back him up.
Rock is dead, Rubu is dead, this shield falling, and Tolki is dead now. So much shielding for this Team Envy squad as well, Gormizer. That feels very easy to just go Wrecker against and blow up quickly.
I mean, this is control at its finest. I don't think if I've ever used the word, or I've used the term control a lot, but this is literally what it means. Like, this is 2 equal-footed teams, but this is what it means when NIP can control the set, can control the game, and can control the way you draft it better than you can. This Ashe, on any other matchup, looks phenomenal on Rubu. And right now, it's hardly getting any work done.
Oh my god, Rubu can't get the ult off. Randomly was dead. Tolki finds what feels like the first kill for Team Envy since this offense started. So much big game damage coming out. Tenor doesn't miss. Tenor hits the spray. 2 kills in total for Team Envy in this first round. Can they even make it back to contest the payload? Noob gets blown up, and he's the bomb king. He's supposed to be the one blowing you up here. Rubu is going to try to stand against big game Cassie, but how long is that going to be the case? Diggy Dog with the most aggressive barrack the world has ever seen, continuing to get in the faces of Envy. Alex finds the angles. What a crazy, crazy day it's been.
The best way I can describe what's happening, again, you have 4 total kills from Envy for that entire round. And the best way to look at it is really, we always talk about how important the front line is, how important Tolki and Rubu are for Rock Monkey to have his performance. This is what happens when they can't create that space, or they can't protect you. Like, when it's not Mr. President get down anymore, it's someone's getting into the backline. Someone is getting to Rock Monkey. And I don't think I've seen him pushed into a corner as many times as I've seen in this set. It is just NIP recognizing the strengths of Envy and breaking them down at their roots.
That is a lot of damage for Tenor. 45K after the first round. That's after technically about 3 minutes of play.
Yeah.
2 minutes if you subtract the start time. My goodness, what a precedent to set. Time and Space goes fishing, doesn't catch anyone. When we were doing those interviews earlier, Alex's didn't get played, but I did do one with Alex for Team Envy. He looked me in the eye and said, Envy are a great team, but we'll see how long they last, kind of thing. I was like, wow, that's pretty cryptic, buddy. He's a man of few words, not quite to the level of Mutsu, but NIP are certainly backing up the few words that they spoke about Envy prior to this matchup. Big fear from Bird. The dive has just been unsuccessful. One of the most veteran supports in the world. Bird has been a huge part of NIP's success today. Juking around, dueling with Eevee on Timbermill, on Genos. I mean, he has been an incredible force to be reckoned with.
And flexing onto the Eevee here, this was a big, again, a big question mark where it's like, man, is he going to be able to do it? They traded out right there. But I mean, he's gone from Barrack to what? He went to a Cassie at one point. Like, he's just been playing so much. Leon last game. And just like making these swaps, or Drogos, sorry. It was Barrack to Drogos to Leon to Eevee. they are, like, 2 of those you can put in the same wheelhouse, and that's Drogoz and Eevee, but that's just because they're blasters. They don't play the same way. You have to take different positioning, different mentality. All of these have been a huge flex. So Alex's flexibility has been phenomenal, and you go back and look at Mouse Sports and you wonder where you see it. He plays the same maybe 3 champions in an entire split there.
Rock.
It's been such a huge change.
Rock diving the backline here of NIP. He's going to find 2. 3 points on the board for NIP. This payload goes in. This set is over. Envy are handed their 2nd loss in 2 days. Far cry from where we thought they might fall. I think everybody had Envy in their sets this week. 137 now on the clock. NIP no ultimates here, but Seismic Crash is basically fully charged. Up and over, Alex is looking for a way in.
So going back to what you had mentioned about an interview with Alex, about how he seemed pretty confident.
What's up, girl?
I was walking from the desk to the caster booth. I saw Mr. Hayes, and I can't even remember the player from NIP that was leaving the room. I think it might have been Bird, where I just said, I'm really excited for this set. Mr. Hayes was like, he just kind of smiled, kept going. Bird looks at me and he goes, I am too. And like that's, again, like just the confidence that they seem to have in themselves is emanating from their personalities as well.
Must be away. Scrims is going. King Bomb dropped immediately onto the head of Inara, but she shrugs it off. Seismic crashes the King, stays alive. Alex finds 2. Alex finds 3. Alex has been electric today. NIP have been playing like monsters. Finally, the dive pays off onto Bird. Alex isn't done with Rock Monkey yet. One more shot will do it if he connects it, and he does. Alex finds the kill, but Bird died that time. And it's funny that it's Rock Monkey diving Bird at this point. Rubu has been the guy to do it earlier in the game. That's only natural. That's what you would expect from the aggro frontline player. But it's not been working. The most success Rock Monkey's had in this game is when he suicide dives off of the top rope into the back line to try and kill a couple members of NIP.
I mean, even now you're looking at what's happening with the rest of the team. Random Noob, I don't think I've ever seen his name, like maybe twice, on the left side of the kill feed. It's almost always going against him, unfortunately. Rubu uses his ult to try and buy space, but just dies. This is what they need. They need the King to step up. They need Leon to step up. Random Noob finally finding some
2v2
damage.
2v2, this is hype. This could be the end of the set here. Tenor and Alex looking for it against Mr. Hayes and Random Noob down to the bottom rope. Ice Storm comes out. Alex wanted it, but he will not get it. They buy just enough time. Alex whiffs an ultimate. He wanted to make the hero play. And I gotta say, I can't blame him. Alex has been the hero of this game for 13-4 to his name. A lot of killing blows and a stellar performance. You know, he's relatively new to the PPL. Played for Clown Fiesta, played, you know, in a couple of lands last year.
Yeah.
But his champion pool was relatively unknown coming into the PPL. What role would he serve on NIP? Whose shoes would he be filling? He's really just been all over the place. I mean, he's playing so many different things.
Just bouncing back and forth like that.
Like
and I want to say, you know, at the end of that, it kind of makes sense. That 2v2, Genos is alive. Luminary Bomb King versus an Eevee. That's a matchup that, on paper, again, we always talk about the fact that Bomb King should win that. Alex has been playing out of his damn mind. Everybody on NIP has, but I feel like Alex being able to flex as much as he has is just making such a huge difference, such a huge impact. And they're just now starting to be able to lock him down. And even then, it's not even a hard lock. This is like a soft lock. They're keeping him kind of isolated.
It's music right now. NIP are playing the map so well. There's a double dive coming in from the right side. They call it out. Alex just kind of slows it down, but just keeps conceding ground as he needs to. Meanwhile, the other 4 members of NIP are taking that 3v4 against Envy, and they are winning it. Rock Monkey finds the first kill here on Tenor, but Rock is extremely low. And in the NIP backline, Alex finds the final shot. Will he make it out of this? No, but not before Diggy Dog plugs away a couple of shots at Rubu, who is now body blocked. Comeback mechanic is in play, but Dome Shield is ready. Seismic Crash will start it off.
I mean, being able to go in, set things up. Tulky's going to get a little bit of the dance, but it's 81 to 60%, 58% since they got forced off the point, so not even able to get that other tick. But here's a King Bomb rolling in, looking for Bonker, looking to create some room, and it's going to be under the Dome Shield, but it should get the kill.
They got to kill Random Noob, and they do. Tenor will find the final bolt in his heart. Big damage and space created on Arubu as well. Plugging away at this shield. Shield's going to go up, but a late game wrecker is waiting for it if he's even gotten the cooldown. Big chunks of the shield. One more bolt on the Toki, and he'll be dead. Bird finds a kill. Alex gets 2 in the back line. Overtime is started and likely to end for NIP 4-0 over the world champions. NIP look to make themselves the front runner after week 3.
And that's just pure aggression. That was a different style of Paladins, and we always mention North America versus Europe. That was neither. That was NIP. They have brought a different flavor to the game today, and it has been a changer for everyone. Envy, especially after yesterday, I mean, again, going back on what Dave said, that's 8 maps in a row consecutively that they've lost between yesterday and today.
I mean, they won those first 2 against Virtus.pro so fast that it felt like they weren't even there, and then they got 4 taken straight. Incredible showing from NIP today. They take the top spot in the PPL. Let's get it back to the desk and wrap up the day.
Thank you very much, Nick and Gore, and what a game 4 it was in NIP. We talked to Bittner before the game. He said, we're vying for one of those top 3 spots right now, and if they keep playing this way,
top 3. Narrow that down. Top 1.
Your dreams need
one
to be
of those top
there,
1 spots.
Right.
That's what we're looking for.
One of those.
If we can get one of those, I'm happy. Like just one of those first place spots. I'm just looking for that, and then I'm casual. You know.
Right. Well, if they keep playing that way, it's hard to imagine them not finding themselves realistically
Dave.
in those. I mean, they're playing like a top 3 team right now.
Dave, this is a tough thing to see, but it's the best thing for both teams. NIP deserve this. They have put the time in. They are honestly playing at a higher level than anybody else, aside from maybe Virtus.pro. We haven't seen those 2 clash. That'll be exciting.
Right.
We haven't seen Na'Vi since the earlier week, so we'll see what happens there. But man, oh man, Envy, they didn't have the stuff today.
There's
no dynamic,
like gas in the tank.
No gas in the tank. You know, Random Noob is mentioned that he's having a hard time adjusting. And that's another real-world scenario.
Right.
Losing your first time yesterday against a good team, knowing you got an even potentially better team the next day, that's a real-world scenario. The stuff you're hearing online, these things matter. Whatever. Tolkien not being in the team house yet, having to finish college and still trying to get back in time when NIP's all here. I don't know, Dave. There's a lot of things going on. It's also just understanding of the meta.
Right. I think. I mean, this is. I think they needed a break after yesterday. I mean, they had to play again today. So I think this will be a good week for them, where they'll be able to take a step back. Maybe, I mean, knowing I was going to say maybe take a couple days off, just regroup, but knowing how hard they are. I mean, they are a hard-working team. They're all dedicated, talented players. I mean,
you know what I tell them to do? Don't even think about Paladins.
Right.
Literally, go out to main event, go do something fun, spend the whole weekend. Just have it just go to the lake or something. I don't know if it's too cold. I don't know really a lot about lakes. I'm just saying, at this point, take your mind off of Paladins. The thing that I saw Na'Vi do last year, I interviewed Umbi and Phoenix after they had won the World Championship. And I talked to them, and I said, what have you guys been doing since winning the World Championship? They said, oh, we just been scrimming and playing and practicing. I'm like, dog, take a break. Season doesn't even start for 3 months. Chill. You know, and they're like, yeah, I'll take a little day vacation, and we'll go back to the grind. Envy, you know, they need a break. They need to re-examine the meta.
I agree.
If you go too hard, eventually you burn out a little bit, and you got to ramp back up. Luckily for Na'Vi, they ramped up mid-year into the finals. Envy, I think, if they take their break now, they really, you know, just kind of, we don't know what's happening yet. We got to get our mind right. They can come back stronger, but that shouldn't take anything away from NIP.
No,
absolutely dominating today.
Right, that's kind of the 2 flip sides of the coin. You have Envy having a tough time, but NIP having a great week. That's going to do it for this week of the PPL. Let's take a quick look at what's upcoming next week for us. Certainly some good games. Let's take a look back at what happened this week. We had Virtus.pro take it over Team Envy 4-2 yesterday. Envy won those first 2 maps, and then lost again today 4-0. So 8 straight losses for them. And then Renegades back-to-back 0-4 losses as well. So a tough week on the side of Renegades. So Virtus.pro and NIP both coming out 2 for 2 this week in a big way. And you know, we talk about NIP looking really good. Virtus.pro looked really great as well.
It's dangerous.
It's a few dangerous teams to look at. Let's look at the standings now after this week if the PPL is up to date. NIP snagging that top spot with Na'Vi and Virtus.pro rounding out your top 3. Envy still hovering around that 4th spot with their 2 wins. And then you can see 5, 6, 7 each with 1 win down there. And then Space Station Gaming they'll be in here next week, finally getting off the ground and finally getting some games under their belt as well.
It'll be fantastic to see them jump in. I know that they haven't had a chance to show their hand. A lot of scrims for both of those teams impacting the Brazilian squad coming in Space Station. I'll be really excited to see how they perform. I think they've got a big future ahead of themselves.
Definitely, and they'll be an exciting team to watch. We do have an interview with some of the NIP guys standing by, the hot team here of the week, so let's send it on over to them and hear their thoughts.
Well, guys, congratulations. Obviously, huge victory over Envy 4-0. And I kind of want to continue the conversation that we were just having. You were, Diggy, saying that, this was a last-second roster change to bring Alex in. You've played for Kanga, and you've stomped people out for months at a time. You've played for NIP and had tough times of your own. How do you get to this point? What is it about just one guy like Alex? What is that one thing that changes, that takes a team from struggling and getting stomped to now dominating and being undefeated in the Premier League?
Well, from what I think personally, I think you just need 5 mechanically gifted players, so people who know the game really well, but also, like what Bonko was saying yesterday, you need to have fun and friendship as well. We all get along extremely well together, and we just push each other.
So, Alex, to be that guy that comes in and is that X factor, and you were commenting about how you didn't play a lot of blasters, you haven't spent a lot of time with these characters. What has it been for you that has gotten you up to speed to the point where you're playing on par with the best Eevee in the world and having a great performance as well?
So all of it is preparation and hard work. I've been grinding all the time. I also quit university so I can focus on this, and this is my dream, and I went all in.
Same.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say it's impressive to see someone go from Barrack to Drogoz to Leon to Eevee and make it look like a seamless transition. Doesn't happen every day, but congratulations again on your wins, guys. It's been a good week for you, but we're going to go back to the desk real fast to close out the day.
You guys, NIP feeling confident, looking confident all across the board, and for good reason. They all just... They feel really good. You can tell.
This is the energy.
Light. They're feeling happy. They're feeling good about it for a good reason. I mean, they played so well this week.
Always good to be the best. They had to be the underdog for a while. They had to come in 4th, 2nd. They had to not make it for a long time. And while Envy was making it, now it's feeling good. But you got to understand that you now are the top dog. Everyone's going to be hunting for you. People are going to be trying to figure out this pip. People are going to be coming at this with different strategies. Big thing that we noticed, too, that Envy didn't do, they didn't play Ruckus at all. Rubu didn't play Ruckus at all in that set. It was unpicked, unbanned. That's something that, a lot of teams are going to have to consider. Really, where is Ash? Where is Ruckus? How do we prioritize that in these drafts?
Right, and that's something kind of redefining.
Everything's being redefined. That's what's fun,
just kind of redefining, re-looking at where you're at. That is going to do it for Week 3 of the PPL. Let's take a quick look at the games we have in store for you next week. Renegades Pittsburgh Knights starting off our week for us, and then a big one, Space Station Gaming taking on Envy. Second game on Thursday, Space Station Gaming against Pittsburgh Knights again on Friday, and then Envy rounding out our week against the Renegades to finish things off. I think you're excited about seeing the Space Station Gaming guys. You just touched on this, but are those two games kind of where you look?
Well, Space Station Envy, I mean, that's a rematch of our huge semifinal that happened to basically set up for Envy's World Championship run in November of last year. So that'll be awesome just to see those two teams, those 10 personalities clash again. Now with the new drama of Envy obviously losing 2 games in a row, SSG needing a win after coming in and not, playing many games, that'll be even more exciting. So that's one to watch for next week.
Yeah, next week is certainly going to be a week full of a lot of fun storylines. Week 3 we saw some big swings, some teams making their way up to the top of the lineup and top of the standings here in the PPL. But that is going to do it for us this week for Paladins action. Make sure to tune in Monday for the Console League, Tuesday for the Minor League Esports Weekly, and then, of course, the Premier League rounding out the week for us. But from everyone here at Skillshot, thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Paladins Premier League, brought to you by Skillshot.